Hey guys, another unboxing video today. So I am just going to pretty much take it out of the box. I haven't done anything with this figure except lifted up the box just to have a quick look at it myself, but I haven't actually taken anything out yet. So we can see that it is the Battle of Helms Deep legless. Exclusive edition. So this has the extra display stand, which is the reason for this huge luxury box, similar to what the Dante came with, and Virgil, Galadriel, and other figures that have had this kind of exclusive edition. Okay, so when we open the box, a little bit different to the way the other ones were. We have all this packing foam around to keep this box from moving, which is really cool. Very similar to how Galadriel was actually. So this is the base figure, and I think we'll go over that first. The way Virgil was packed, I went over the exclusive pieces first, but I'll go over the base version first, so that way people aren't really confused. Hopefully, if you saw the Virgil video, you saw that there was the base figure in the box, and then all those magic swords, the spinning effect, were all the luxury version. Alright, so when we, it is just a standard Asmus box with their logo in the corner, New Line Cinema, wonderful picture of Orlando Bloom as Legolas, tells us that it is the Battle of Helm's Deep version, same on this side, and then some credits, as well as a back shot. I think that's actually the figure itself there, as opposed to the image of Orlando Bloom here. So opening that up. Now what's interesting is this one here, I don't know if it's just the way it's packed or not. I actually had a little bit of a issue getting this sent out. Not in the fact they forgot to give me the tracking number, and I really had to push for it. It's the first time I've ever encountered that issue, but obviously the figure itself rocked up fine. But normally there is a Asmus logo here with the watermark. I showed it on Virgil, and it tells you what number of the edition you got. This doesn't have that. And in fact, even on the bottom of the box here, it's not on the bottom of the box either, like it usually is. So that's just a little bizarre. It's the one and only time I've seen it missing. I'm not overly concerned because the figure itself does appear to include everything. It is just a little weird. Alright, I'm going to leave that alone there for a minute because I think that that's actually an extra item in the bottom there that I wasn't aware of that. That's included with this figure. So when we open him, we are obviously going to get your instructions. I will show the instructions in a second because it actually shows you everything for things you don't get with the standard figure, which I suppose is a little bit of the problem with there being multiple versions of these things, because you simply get shown what you missed out on. So this is the figure itself. I reckon the head sculpt is amazing. It's definitely Orlando Bloom. Got to remember that Return of the King is almost... Return of the King is about 13 years old now, I think, maybe. But the original The Rings Fellowship was 2002, I believe. So, just from memory. So it's been at least 20 years since Orlando Bloom has portrayed this character. And I mean, obviously, we saw him come back as Legolas in The Hobbit, and there hasn't been a Hobbit version yet. You can see that the tailoring on this guy is amazing, as always. It's got the Elvish imprints on there, but I reckon this is a really nice sculpt, and a much better sculpt than their first attempt. Now, missed out on the new Aragon, but I wasn't too annoyed. I didn't mind the original Aragon they did that I own. But I saw a few pictures of this and thought, yeah, that head sculpt is definitely an improvement over the original, and that's why I picked this guy up. Plus his outfit's slightly different. He has some different armaments that he didn't have in the original version. So that's the figure itself. I'm just going to pop him back in there. There is the standard Lord of the Rings display stand there, and then you have the accessory trays. So I am just going to lift these out. So you can see his swords. So these two are just handles. They plug into the back to make it look like that they're sheathed. Or sheathed, I should say. But you can see, even through the plastic, that they are amazingly detailed blades. Pop this. They are usually die cast. Hopefully they are. Yes. What is that? I believe it's... I think it might actually just be plastic. I think the original version had die cast blades. So that's a little unfortunate. Generally the named weapons are all die cast. So that's a little bit of a shame that it's not. But you can see that the bow is very nicely very nicely detailed itself, and you can see all the arrows underneath it. Again, I'm going to go over this in more detail when I actually do the review. I was just showing you what you get in the box. And then of course you do have the sword that he got while he was at Helm's Deep. And even this is just plastic. That is not normal for Asmus. Normally their blades are die cast, and I showed that with the Virgil, because the Yamato was die cast. So yeah, that is a bit of a shame that we did get plastic blades this time around. But I suppose this figure did have quite, I wouldn't say a cheap price point, but it had a more affordable price point than normal Asmus figures. I think you can pick him up for $3.30, maybe even cheaper than that from Pop Culture. Yeah. So these are the instructions that I was talking about. They show you how to change the hands over and whatnot, and how to do the quiver and everything else. Now you also do get this traveling cape, which is in the very bottom of the box. Now also there is a luxury item in the bottom tray also if you got the luxury edition. So basically what I'm going to show you now is this. This massive display stand is what you get if you decided to pick up the extra box edition, basically. So I was just taking out the phone. Now this time around it is simply a display stand, similar to the fact that Galadriel had the mirror. The first thing you're going to get is when you open it, there is a tray with this ladder. It is really solid, and I believe it's polystone. Feels like stone. And you also get the edges of the ladder with this chain, as if it was dug into a castle wall, which is really cool. And that's die-cast chain. So yeah, when they do proper chain and stuff, it's just really bizarre that those blades weren't die-cast. As I said, 90% of Asmus blades are die-cast. Now, the price difference, I believe, was about $100. Again, I can't give you an accurate detailing because I paid $45, $50 postage for this. Considering how heavy, like, this is a really solid piece. So basically, in the film, and it's a little bit of a shame we don't get the shield. Basically, in the film, obviously they're in Helm's Deep. Legolas runs down these stairs and pretty much rides a shield down the stairs. This is basically what this is. Now this is held together with magnets, I believe. So yeah, that is a really nice piece, and I will show you just how tall that wall is in a moment. Now it is double-sided in a sense that you hook just the ladder sit behind him. Those instructions. I believe the ladder goes, yeah. So you can see that the ladder itself actually sits behind it. What I was referring to before was in here. They give you a little torch. Doesn't light up or anything, but it's a nice flame effect for what it is. It just sits there, looks fine. And now this. I actually got that the wrong way around. That'll sit in there. And then this will come over, and it actually sits above. And then you have this bit here, which will basically clip it on the side here. Oh yeah, so these pieces are magnetized as well. And then I will find out where this chain hooks into, if it does hook onto anything. But overall, this is the luxury piece that you get here. And then Legolas will just, again, really nice sculpt, and I like that this is already on him. So yeah, it is quite a nice piece to have. It's really nice detailed. As I said, with the postage, it probably added $100 to the price. As all up, I think this was $450, maybe a tiny bit more, but it definitely wasn't over $470. But yeah, I believe it was $450. So even if we say that the base figure was $330, it's $120 including the postage. As I said, because you do have to pay for the extra postage, that is what drives up the cost of these figures. The fact that once upon a time you would get the free postage, you would just wait maybe a week, but because of COVID and all the suspensions and everything, you have to pay